My name is Betty. I'm a barista and I've been doing this job for the past 5 years. So what you want to do is you want to get your beans in a grinder and you grind your beans. If in any case you don't have a grinder, which is not a problem, you just ask your roaster if he could or she could grind it for you. So that's my hopper, my grind will come on the bottom. What you want to do within the process, you just want to collapse it, knock it down a bit so you can actually fit the right amount of coffee grinder. You can go to the supermarket and just get a packet which says multi-grind on it. So in that case, you need a different basket which comes with this machine as well. So you want to make sure you have it nicely filled up. This looks a bit messy, so you want to fix that. You need to make sure you have no gaps within your basket. So you just take your fingers and level it down a bit like that. There's a tamper with it as well. You will have to pack your coffee a bit tighter with it. That's all it does. Once you tamper the first time, most likely the grinds will come up to the side. And that's not very good once you want to use it. So you just tap the sides, everything falls back in the middle, and in the end you just give it a bit of a polish. All you do is you sort of turn your tamper and you're ready to go, and it looks like this. Once the water will go through these coffee grounds, the water will go through the gaps, which are very tight, so therefore the water will take away all the oils, all the sugars, all the goodness, and will end up in your cup. If you don't have a tight package, the gaps in between the particles will be too great and the water most likely will just come out in a sort of gushing motion and does not have enough time to take away the sugars and the oils and all the flavours. Also, you might wonder about how full you have to fill the basket. A good guideline is to, once you've tamped it down, to leave about a centimetre gap from the top. Because what will happen once you extract, or the coffee will be extracted, the coffee will expand once the water hits the top, and therefore you need to leave a little gap in order for the coffee to expand. If you're not sure if you've done the right thing, just do that. You don't have a mess, which means you've done something right. You take the group handle and you need to lock it into the machine. You do it nice and tight, all the way so you have a straight line of 90 degrees to your steam wand. You want to look at not quite an even stream of coffee coming out, but it's a sort of dribbling motion, about 2 or 3 drips per second. That's a good way of assessing whether you tamped it correctly and high enough or full enough. If you realize it's dripping too slow, which is the other extreme, that might mean you tamped it too hard or you filled it up too much. If you're still not sure, want to check on it even more, you just knock out your cookie on your table and you then assess it. If it comes out in one piece and your basket looks nice and clean, beautiful, that's your aim. The mat you want to put there to protect the OTTO machine heating up the jug too much, because if you have a perfect extraction and your crema comes on beautiful, which essentially are little tiny bubbles of sugars and oils. So if they would hit a really, really hot cup, the bubbles would burst straight away. But if it's only just warm, which that's what you have the mat for, your crema will stay there for much, much longer, and therefore you will have a much nicer coffee in the end. Crema is basically tiny little bubbles, which are so tiny you can't actually see the bubbles. It looks like a creamy sort of rich brown honey-like red-brownish liquid. I mentioned the word honey because it actually resembles the consistency of honey, and so once you achieve that, you know you've got a good extraction.